Alright, this next example, we're going to use law of sines to solve a triangle. Once again, make sure that you understand vocabulary. Solving a triangle, when you read the directions for solving a triangle, it just basically means find the measurements of all sides, um, find the measurements of all sides and the angles as well. Alright, we have this diagram here, and we have this information. Solve triangle ABC, measure of angle A is 33 degrees, measure of angle B is 47 degrees, and B, side B, lowercase b, is 14. Round the angle measures to the nearest degree and side measures to the nearest tenth. Alright, so let's go ahead and calculate this. Now, without using law of sines, I can figure out this angle C by remembering that the sum of the angles in a triangle equals 180 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say 180 minus the sum of these two angles. Okay. And if you do that in the calculator, 180, 33 plus 47, we get the angle measure is 100. And again, you want to make sure that you confirm your answers on the calculator. Alright, so now what we have here is, how am I going to start using law of sines? Okay, well, in order for you to understand when to use law of sines, especially next time when we're going to look at law of cosines, is we have to look for an opposing pair. What I mean by an opposing pair is I look for an angle, and I go directly across it, and I have to find or must know that side measure for me to use law of sines. If I use angle A, 33, directly across it, I don't have the side measurement here, so I cannot use that opposing pair. So instead, I'm going to use these two right here, because those, again, are the opposing pair that I know of. So I'll make a little note here that we want to start with a known opposing pair. That is, you must know the angle and the opposite side. Now we can proceed to setting up our law of sines. Remember, law of sines states sine of the angle, so I'm going to start using law of sines. Where I'm going to indicate sine of the angle, which is 47 degrees, over its opposing side measure, which is 14, should be equivalent to. Now here, you want to choose what other side you want to find. Okay. Now, had we not figured out this angle, then we'd kind of be left with figuring out this one right here. But in this case, we could have chosen this opposing pair, C and lowercase c, since we know at least one part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and choose angle A and the opposing side. I'm going to say sine of the angle, 33 degrees, over its opposite side, which is labeled A. And that's what I'm going to figure out. Now let's cross multiply to go ahead and solve this right here. I usually start cross multiplying the one with the variable. 8 times sine of 47 degrees is equivalent to, let's go ahead and zoom in, 14 times sine of 33 degrees. On this example, I want to solve for A, so I need to get rid of this times sine of 47. And the inverse of times multiplication is going to be division. So I have to divide by whatever it was that I was multiplying. So I have to divide both sides to maintain equality. That way this divides out to 1, and I have 1 times A, which is A. Now here's the thing. The equivalent answer is, or the exact answer, 14 times sine of 33 degrees divided by sine of 47 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put that this is the exact answer. What you want to do afterwards is, let's box that in because that is my answer. what I'm going to do is basically use my calculator and enter this into my calculator. And I'm going to give the approximation. So 14 sine of 33 14 times sine of 33, and you want to make sure that you're in degree mode, but I'm going to put the degree symbol. It should be okay. Divided by sine of, in this case it was 47 degrees, and I get the approximation, 10.4258. You did want us to round to the nearest tenth for the side measure, so I'm going to go ahead and say that the approximation is 10.4. I'm going to write A is approximately 10.4. Okay. Now let's go back to my drawing. Let's go ahead and put that this is 10.4. Now in a similar fashion, you can go ahead and solve now this opposing side using the same procedure that we just did to solve this lowercase or side c. Okay. Now the difference here, let me just make a note between the exact answer and the approximate. I do want you to use both. In some cases, especially those exams where they indicate no calculator use, they will probably give you these as answer choices. So there's no need for you to actually know what sine of 33 is. So just be careful with the difference between the exact and the calculator approximation. Now if you wanted to set up law of sines for this one, again this was for side A. For side C, you can do something similar. I usually start off with the same opposing pair that I always know, the known opposing pair from the very beginning. So sine of 47 degrees over 14 is equal to, and now you're going to go ahead and say this opposing pair with the C is going to be sine of angle 100, which we figured out from this calculation, over its opposing side. And the same thing as before, cross multiply, use your algebraic skills, give me the exact answer in the approximation. I'll leave that up to you.